this initiative is fantastic.
I think what you're doing is awesome.
I am a huge fan of Startup Canada. I've been sort of supportive from day one.
We, as an organization, have been totally impressed with what you folks have accomplished in a very short period of time, and what a great service you're doing for the country.
Do you believe we really have that entrepreneurial spirit in Manitoba? I do. I really do. I think there are some great innovators out there. I'd like to hear your story.
I think with Startup Canada, what's beneficial is that it's kind of uncovering that. It's not as intimidating. You're getting to hear stories now. I mean, I went on the site today and I was watching some of the interviews, and I was kind of laughing because I felt I was very connected. A lot of these stories are very similar to my own.
What you're doing right now is very useful to actually put entrepreneurs in front of a microphone and share the story across Canada for others to be inspired by is the #1 thing. I think Canadians in general are shy of their success, and it's time for us to actually be proud of being Canadian and the successes that we have. Thank you for taking the time to go after entrepreneurs and sharing the great things we do in Canada.
Startup Canada has done an amazing job. They've provided inspiration for others, I hope, to continue this process and create this in not just now across Canada, but for our local community, and keep this momentum going.
I think you've already filled a huge gap, which is to create a national and cohesive dialogue. You've managed to engage a lot of partner organizations and yet have an umbrella sort of focus, the Startup Canada focus. I think everyone appreciates the fact also that it was grassroots driven, so kudos to Startup Canada for that. And I think mainly we're looking at having new, dialogues. It's forced a lot of us to pull together otherwise fairly uncohesive groups just because we're all busy. We're busy building businesses.
What really impressed me the most, I think, was the fact it was a volunteer organization. People taking out time from their careers, and what they're doing to start this up and to bring entrepreneurs and innovators from across Canada together. We just said, yeah, we definitely want to be part of that.
Well, I think what Startup Canada is doing with this tour is actually a great start. It's about convening people.
Finding out today that 25,000 entrepreneurs have connected across Canada just in the last 6 months is absolutely phenomenal.
Let's get everyone in one room, and that's really what this town hall and this whole Startup Canada tour really did.
The town hall sessions in themselves are pretty significant because we got to bring out all the local entrepreneurs from both the East Coast and the West Coast of the province and collect their input as to what they think Startup Canada can do to help start up Newfoundland and Labrador.
I think this group of 50 entrepreneurs today that spent time talking and thinking about entrepreneurship, not their own businesses, but about entrepreneurship. I could feel the energy in the room and that kind of buzz, and now we want to take that and work with the other service providers in the region to say, how can we build on that? How can we make that into something more?
More events like Startup Canada, incredibly important. Anything where we can bring the community together and to celebrate what we're doing here to move entrepreneurship forward in the city and in the province.
And through all the town halls we did and all the interviews that we had was that, we want to do these things, but we're not quite sure where to go or how to make it all happen. And I think Startup Canada really kind of brought that together and kind of solidified that there's an opportunity to bring together an organization that brings it all together for Canadians.
That you're bringing that's a bit unique is a national perspective to what is usually a regional issue. You're bringing the vision of what it looks like in other places to people like me who can then say, wow, we really ought to be doing what they're doing.
By going across the country and having these kinds of events, you've started to build a network. That network is vital, not only as person to person, but also through the internet and social media. If you're able to help build a network across this country of entrepreneurs, I think then we're just going to set the stage for that success.
And if Startup Canada can help build the relationships, as it already has over these last few weeks, and continue that growth, as entrepreneurs will be successful all across Canada. I think that's critical, is building that community from coast to coast.